We saw an all-time college football classic on Saturday as Alabama held off Georgia's comeback effort in a 41-34 thrilling win in Tuscaloosa. Today, we're going to talk about how that game impacts the Tennessee Vols in 2024. Hey, it's Lucas Panzica from 104.5 The Zone and A to Z Sports. I came away from that Alabama-Georgia game with two questions. Number one, is Alabama now the tougher opponent for Tennessee in 2024? And number two, does Tennessee belong in that category of college football's elite as we watched two giants duel it out on Saturday? Starting with number one, I think everybody thought coming into the season that the trip to Athens was going to be a tougher test than the home game against Alabama. And after Saturday, a lot of people are changing their tune. I will say I still believe that the Georgia game will be tougher for Tennessee to get a win than the Alabama game, and here's why. First of all, Tennessee already has a proof of concept of beating Alabama at home in the Josh Heupel era, and Tennessee will be at home on Saturday. Neyland Stadium is going to be rocking for that game. Not to mention, yes, Alabama went up 28-0 against Georgia, and it looked like it was going to be a rout. But I think too many people are only looking at the first half of that game and taking that away as why Alabama will be the tougher opponent, and very quickly forgetting that despite the fact that Georgia lost on Saturday, they still outscored Alabama 34-13 down the stretch in that game and were in the red zone with an opportunity to score a game-tying touchdown. Now, they didn't get it done, and Georgia picks up its first loss. But I think that's going to make Georgia more dangerous throughout the course of the season. Kirby Smart is the best coach in college football this year. Nick Saban's gone. He is retired. Yes, Alabama is still a powerhouse, but they don't have Saban patrolling the sidelines. That puts Kirby at the top of the list of college football's best. He is going to find a way to bounce back and adjust from this loss, and I think you're going to see the best of Georgia's football still ahead of them, and Tennessee has to go to Athens to beat the Dogs. Would you like to win both games? Absolutely, and Tennessee should be able to be in both of those games, and they should be winnable, but I still think the Georgia game will be more difficult to get a victory than Alabama in front of a rockin' Neyland Stadium. The second question I had after watching that game on Saturday, does Tennessee belong in that category of college football's elite? Well, we can't answer that for sure at the moment. It's too early in the season. Yes, Tennessee has looked phenomenal with this 4-0 start, but the numbers do not lie. In fact, that game knocked Georgia down to number 5 in the AP poll, and it put Tennessee up to number 4. Here's some other things that Tennessee ranks top 4 in after the first 4 games. Tennessee is number 1 in the country in scoring offense and third down defense. Tennessee is number 2 in the country in scoring defense, allowing only 7 points per game, and rushing defense. Tennessee is number 3 in total offense, averaging over 560 yards per game, and Tennessee is number 4 in the country in both pass defense and rushing offense, running for 390 yards per game. Look, it's impossible to answer that question if Tennessee truly is in that category until they face either Alabama or Georgia, but the early returns show that that defensive line and front seven that Tennessee has, matched with a Josh Heupel offense that I believe still has yet to show its best with Nico Iamaleava, should be enough ingredients to put Tennessee amongst that contending group. But again, we're only going to find out when Alabama visits Knoxville in October and Tennessee goes to Athens in November. Either way, if that Alabama-Georgia game is any indication, we might be in for a few more classics in the SEC in 2024.